One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to ZANIS News. I'm Alice Banda to be with you. Let's take a look at the stories making headline. Hagainde Entrepreneurship Mentorship Initiative Cooperative launched in Kabwe. Muchinga PS calls for roll-out of small town water supply and sanitation projects to other provinces. Plus, Caritas Chipata unveils first ever grain storage technology. And now the news in detail. We start our news with an item from Central Province, where the Hagainde Entrepreneurship Mentorship Initiative for Cooperatives, HEMIC, has been launched. ZANIS staffer Kelvin Tembo reports that the initiative will target and support a minimum of 9,000 cooperatives in its first year of implementation. Details in this report.
Government is set to drive social and economic development through using the cooperative model. President Hakainde Hichilema, in his private capacity, will use the HEMIC platform to share his entrepreneurship experience in business to help turn cooperatives into successful entrepreneurial organizations.
It is my honor and pleasure to be part of this official launch of Hakainde Entrepreneur Mentorship Initiative in Central Province. I am informed that the initiative is a platform for our beloved Republican President Hakainde Hichilema in his private capacity to share his lifelong entrepreneurship experience in business so that the cooperative also become successful entrepreneurial organizations.
Kabwe District Commissioner Leno Shimwambwa says government will continue supporting farmers.
We shall ensure that we bring about other forms of accessing inputs other than physical. Like you have seen now, we have a product where those farmers who cannot access physical can get onto a program where you get a credit facility, a credit window, which has been opened with the banks.
Farmers Development Cooperative Union General Secretary says the cooperative model has capacity to spur development.
Speak of China, Mao Zedong is a believer in cooperatives, and that's how China developed. Their own people were doing smaller things in bits. From their cultures, they learned the things they were doing in a smaller way and found a way to industrialize those opportunities. We have a great potential here. There is no way our generation should continue accepting that our cooperatives, some of them 30 years down the line, still complaining of we don't have inputs, we don't have seed. That means we've set up cooperatives without understanding the cooperative concept. Because if they understood the cooperative concept, from where we stand as FDC, we believe that the cooperative concept is actually an interest-based organization where you come in and say our community has these challenges, and then you team up to find solutions to those challenges. So if the cooperatives understood that concept, the inputs and seeds complaint has existed for years. That should have been one of the goals that we are going to have. By now,
Kelvin Tembo for ZANIS in Kabwe, Central Province.
We go to Southern Province, where a resident of Shambala Ward in Shenzongo Chiefdom of Iteji District has expanded her business after obtaining a 40,000 kwacha loan from the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. More in the following report.
Neshalas Hamainda owns a general dealer shop in Shambala Shenzongo Chiefdom in Iteji District of Southern Province. Last year, she required additional funding to grow her business. Constituency Development Fund loan enabled her to grow her business. She now narrates her development story.
So nindaga igweza 40,000. So nindaga bika mu grocery ndabika. Amwendi chitawa business ya mapopo ya kutola kusala mu matracks ndaula mapopo. Restaurant yalo kubaberesi. At least via bumi wajincha bana bachigolondera koja kushamalaya ndabayisha alimi uti kubejorwe. It is by April I will finish this loan. So in your government with Yagandia and Negashta apply Gambo. This and that and that so.
Haminda's business has flourished and she has a message for the government.
Ndakachibona kuti CDF yandigwasha kamboni ndakatopinga mara CDF business yangu yakabomina. Even this time maingo ndijisi ndakakwanisha ndaula fertilizer ndaula 70 kg ya mapokwe konya amali manji ndakabika ku village bank.
Meanwhile, the Itezhi local authority provides an overview of CDF empowerment progress in Itezhi.
Okay, as Itezhi constituency, I think under 2022 we had 18 loans that we disbursed, and then we also had 54 clubs that we had empowered with grants. Then under 2023 we had 16 beneficiaries under loan, the component, and then under grants we had 55. So you find that when you look at 2022 and 2023, you can see the difference that we are making progress.
Haminda's story exemplifies how a CDF loan can help women overcome socio-economic constraints. Frederick Mwansa, ZANIS, Itezhi.
In Mchinga Province, Provincial Permanent Secretary Henry Mkungule has appealed to government to extend the integrated small town water supply and sanitation project to other provinces, especially in rural communities. Details in this report.
In Zambia, access to clean water is unequal, with 90% of households in urban areas accessing the commodity compared to only 53% for households in small towns. However, this will soon be a thing of the past, as government, through the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation, has embarked on various projects to improve water supply and sanitation services in the country. 5 provincial permanent secretaries from Muchinga, Luapula, Northern, and Water Development and Sanitation have completed the inspection of water projects in Western Province under the Integrated Small Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project.
In Muchinga Province, we have 2 districts that are benefiting from these small town water projects. That is Nakonde and Mpika. But we still have a very big problem in terms of water in these new districts of Shuangandu, Lavushimanda, Kanchibi.
Western Province Permanent Secretary Akapelwa Simomo is so far impressed with the works done in Mongu, which is at 95% complete.
Mongu, we have been to the various places. We have been to the Liawala 12, which you would call Little Zambezi if you want. The intake there is complete. We are here at Kasima now. We are more or less complete also. We have not been to Limulunga. Part of the water taken from Little Zambezi will actually go to Limulunga. We have done the underground pipes already in Winela, and the 18-kilometer pipeline to Limulunga Royal Village is complete.
And Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Mike Mumba has confirmed that the projects in Mwense and Samfya is 100% complete and ready for commissioning.
This is not the first time we are interacting in this manner. Last year, PSC Western, Mr. Smomo was in Luapula Province, where we inspected the various sites of this nature, various projects which are being undertaken in Luapula Province. In Luapula Province, the funding also came from African Development Fund, Bank rather, and this project is being undertaken in Samfya, in Mansa, which is the provincial capital, and also Mwense district. We are almost there as a province.
Meanwhile, Sureka Consultancy team leader Patrick Gateru explained the overall progress made in Western Province.
So far we are different stages for each town. In Mongu we are at around 95%. In Kaomba we are at 75%. In Secheke we are at 70%. Senanga we are at 30%. However, we expect that Mongu, Senanga, Secheke and all the towns will be finished by July, except Senanga, which will be finished by September this year.
Audrey Kalenga, ZANIS News, Western Province.
We cross over to Northwestern Province. The Solwezi Municipal Council has chlorinated 167 shallow wells in 5 compounds. Council Public Relations Officer Esther Chirwa has told ZANIS in an interview that the shallow wells were chlorinated in Kazomba, Messenger, Zinge, Kiawama and College compounds. Ms. Chirwa adds that the council has also been putting lime in pit latrines to help stop the spread of cholera in the district. Chai Wunkoma now reports.
Shallow wells have in the recent past made headlines, prompting a presidential directive to bury them off. This is because shallow wells contain contaminated water, which becomes the source of infections, thereby promoting the escalation of cholera if not treated.
You realize that in Solwezi, under Solwezi, most of the water points that people take, they are wells that have been dug. So these wells tends to get contaminated with the cholera germs. So, and the cases that we have had as Northwestern, most of them are not linked to Lusaka or any other place. So these are local cases. So it means that it's the hygiene around the water sources in our communities. So what we are doing just to control that is just to make sure that those water points or the wells which people have dug, they are treated with the chlorine.
So far, in Solwezi district, the local authority have chlorinated over 150 shallow wells in an effort to avert the spread of cholera.
We have been in various communities, in various compounds. As you may be aware, Messenger's compound and Kazomba have been actually the hotspots in Solwezi district in terms of the cholera outbreak. So we have been undertaking chlorination of what we call the shallow wells, and we have done a total of 167 chlorination of shallow wells in these compounds, which include Messengers, there's Kazomba, there's also Kijingejinge, there's also Kiawama, and another area is College.
The liming of pit latrines has also been top on the agenda.
The other aspect, very important aspect that we have been undertaking to avert the spread of the cholera in our district is liming of the pit latrines. We are alive to the fact that in these compounds, most of the places have pit latrines, and between the beginning of this year, that is January to date, we have done about 81 pit latrines that have been lined.
Meanwhile, in other compounds, people have continued drawing water from untreated shallow wells. Reporting for ZANIS News, I am Chai Wunkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
And in Eastern Province, government has commenced the distribution of relief maize to hunger-stricken households in Nyumba District of Eastern Province. District Commissioner Paul Daka flagged off the distribution of the commodity to deserving communities as part of the 2024 relief distribution program for the district. Mr. Daka disclosed that the district had received its allocation of 4,580 by 50 kilogram bags of white maize under the first phase of the distribution exercise by the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit. Mr. Daka noted that a number of communities had been affected by drought during the previous farming seasons, hence the government's resolve to distribute the maize in order to cushion the hunger situation in the district.
Liboma yakumva ya President Hakainde Hichilema ndingachilole lini kuti iloleshe kuti wanthu awa wafena njala chifukwa chake kuno kunyimba kwaso batipasa vinchevere pokwana 8,000 baht kufumira kuboma kupyolera mu FRA pakuti FRA ni boma kumene so vinchevere ndi batayamba kuti chabe kuti distribute lomba kumadera yonse yofunikira transporters zifunga kutumike konzera nenu laira pano nikonka konkhani kuvuma na naye mfana kuti nimengeshiwa kamba kuti chinchevere chatutwala chikuyakula wateralira kuti chirute tukaunta check so numpemphani kamba kuti tientichite chinthu tientisevenze ntchito mwayifunika kuti sevinji ikhalire mukachita tetyoninshi mugwirizana upitirire nasetitembeja as government.
We take a break, and when we return, more stories. Stay tuned.
Bushe cholera chinshi. Cholera bulwele bwa kupolomia. Omuntu ukwete cholera alapolomia sana eyo n'okuluka. Obusali buba ubwamenshi n'okubutuluka ng'omu basukire omupunga. Omulwele wa cholera takwata amenshi mu mubiri pamulandu wa kuluka ero n'okupolomia. Omulwele wa cholera kuti afwa munsa 12 nangu ntile 12 hours nga tapeerwa omuti uwafikapo. Usho omuntu kuti akwata shani cholera? Okunwa amenshi ayabula okuwamya nangu ayafiko. Okulya ifyakulya n'emino iyalamba nangu mufipe ifyabula okusamfya n'amenshi ayasuma. Okulya ifyakulya ifyo basunga okwabula okufimbapo ifyakutira na balunshi baleikalapo. Okulya ifyakulya ifyashelepo ifyatalala ifyakutira tabafisungire bwino nakalya iyo. Okulya ifyakulya ifyo bashitisha mu misebo. Okulya ifisabo elyo n'omusalo ifyabula okusamfya. Kuti twayichingirira shani ku bulwele bwa cholera. Wamyeni amenshi yakunwa okupitira mu kuipika nangu okubika mu chlorine. Sambeni kuminwa na sopo ilo na amenshi ayasuma panuma ya kubonfya chimbusu. Kafyeniko ifyakulya ilyo tamulalia. Fimbeni pa fyakulya fyonse pakuti balunshi tabaleikalapo. Mwilalia ifyakulya fisangwa mu misebo. Bonfyeni chimbusu inshita yonse. Mwila bonfya ifikunkubiti nangu ifupepala pakuposa ubusali. Shiningisha inokutila ubusali bonse bwaposwa mu chimbusu. Sungeni chimbusu ichabusaka n'okufimbapo inshita yonse. Iyimbira abamireterako chipa ni chimona pabumi.
Welcome back. Veterinary Association of Zambia President Malcolm Chioba has appealed to the government and other stakeholders to rebuild the Mumbwa district veterinary offices, which were gutted by irate residents who ran amok following growing suspicion of ritual murders last year. Dr. Chioba says that the reconstruction of the offices should be prioritized due to the significance of the livestock population in Mumbwa district. Kruger Siankulu has the details.
The aftermath of the September 13, 2023 riots in Mumbwa is still evident at the veterinary office, which was gutted down. The riot, which was sparked by suspicion of ritual murders, left this office damaged. Veterinary Association of Zambia President Dr. Malcolm Chioba has inspected the infrastructure.
Basically, the whole building needs to be rebuilt, like you have seen. It's basically a desolation. So, but we have not heard from the government, and our coming here was to appeal to government to quicken that process, respond to the bill of quantities submitted to them, and quickly work on the office so that it delivers the services. Your district is mainly agricultural. Livestock production is the central activity that drives the economy of the people of Mumbwa.
Mumbwa District Commissioner Namkulo Hayumbu says the government responded swiftly post-riot to ensure continuity of services.
We moved in immediately after it happened, and through DMMU, the government released more than 400,000 to enable the department to buy a few things they required to start offering the service to the community.
On the other hand, Mumbwa District Fisheries and Livestock Coordinator has highlighted ongoing challenges faced by the officers following the incident.
We had what we used to use here as a mini lab for such purposes, but where we are operating from, we are not able to do that. Yes. The other challenge I think that we are having is storage. We had a separate storeroom here, which is that one there, where we would store some of the drugs and chemicals, especially chemicals like the ones we use for disinfecting because of that strong smell. But now where we are, unfortunately, we are almost keeping them where we are working from.
Krugasiankuru, ZANIS, Mumbwa.
And Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo has underscored the government's unwavering commitment to holding Vedanta accountable for its pledge to invest $1 billion United States in mine assets at Konkola Copper Mines, KCM. Speaking to ZANIS after he attended a church service at St. Michael's Catholic Church in Buntunga Ward of Mufulira's Kankoyo constituency, Mr. Matambo assured the public of the government's determination to revamp all mines in the province. More in this report.
Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo has affirmed the government's commitment to ensuring that Vedanta fulfills its pledge to invest $1 billion in mine assets at Konkola Copper Mine KCM. Speaking to ZANIS after attending a church service at St. Michael's Catholic Church in Buntunga Ward of Kankoyo constituency, where he also introduced the United Party for National Development, UPND's candidate for the Buntunga Ward by-election, Lasson Kunda, Mr. Matambo reiterated the government's dedication to revitalize all mines in the province to their former prominence.
We have insisted that the Vedanta of PF and the Vedanta of which will be when the President Hakainde is president will be different. President Hakainde Hichilema is a very serious president, focused, and he wants to walk his talk. And he also, as a serious minister, here speaking, I'll make sure that whatever they have pledged, Vedanta will have to honor. We are also trying to resuscitate Chambesh metals. We will get a strategic partner for Chambesh metals. Copperbelt will never be the same in terms of the economy of this province.
In addition, Mr. Matambo stated that the government is implementing measures to assist small-scale miners in conducting their trade within a safe environment.
We will do a lot of things: capacity building, training, legalizing the way they will be mining. They'll be given small-scale mining licenses. We will have to go into joint ventures with other miners who come in.
Meanwhile, St. Michael's Parish Priest, Father Hargreaves Chanda, emphasized the importance of maintaining peace among political stakeholders leading up to the Buntunga Ward by-election. The Buntunga by-election is scheduled for 1st March 2024. Rachel Chisulo, ZANIS, Mufulira.
In Eastern Province, Caritas Chipata has unveiled its first ever grain storage technology to enhance food security among farmers in Kasenengwa district. Details in the following report.
At a time when the world is grappling with adverse effects of climate change, which has not only negatively impacted the production of agricultural produce, but also the storage of the same, Caritas Chipata, Catholic Relief Services, CRS, and Purdue University in the United States have availed a groundbreaking intervention in Kasenengwa district.
Infestation of stored grains by mostly insects or weevils is known to cause losses in both quality and quantity. This damage caused by poor storage techniques also reduces both seed and seedling viability. Guest of honor, the ceremony we are witnessing today, whose theme is embracing climate smart storage technology for improved food security and safety, seed access and incomes, signifies the importance of improved grain storage.
Eastern Province Agricultural Office has welcomed the hermetic bags technology.
I would like to say the post-harvest losses in this country, or not in this country, but as Eastern Province, have been very high due to the unfortunate way of storing our grains. As it is now, like you have already heard from the other speakers, that the storages that we have been having as small-scale farmers are not really effective, not very effective. Maybe probably 20 to 30% of the storage has gone to waste.
Farmers in Kasenengwa are excited about the initiative.
September 15.
Research holds that heightened temperatures due to climate change drastically reduce the quality of grain when stored for a long period of time and also indirectly lead to contamination. Davison Sakala, for ZANIS in Kasenengwa District.
We end ZANIS News with an item from the AU. Minister of Technology and Science, Felix Mtati, has called on the African continent to consider inclusive education and skills development for learners. And Education Minister Douglas Siakalima says the government is on course with its education system. Kalan Mchima has more in this report.
Sustainable Development Goal number 4 speaks to ensuring lifelong learning opportunities for all, from early childhood to adult education, ensuring equity, inclusion and gender equality, ensuring effective learning and the acquisition of relevant knowledge, skills and competences. This was also the theme for the 2024 African Union Heads of States and Government Summit in Ethiopia. The African Union is trying to push African governments towards accelerating efforts towards the attainment of SDG number 4 by 2030, after realizing that most countries in the region may not attain this goal. The Zambian government, through Technology and Science Minister Felix Mtati, says President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership has attached a lot of political will in the attainment of education and skills development.
You need strong and sustainable political commitment. In the context of Zambia, we have demonstrated this commitment by the deployment of resources for skills and education. For example, 20% of our CDF has been dedicated to deal with access issues for our people. And since we took that decision, we have seen that the numbers have quadrupled.
Education Minister Douglas Siakalima says Zambia is progressing well more than other African countries in the attainment of SDG number 4.
Education and skills make a country, because we don't need to go and get artisans from Zimbabwe, because many of our artisans are coming from Zimbabwe. But now this is a deliberate way of a new government that children will have two pathways, career or skills. Courtesy of what we have learned also here, we could be above many of our neighbors. Many people used to say that, so where are you going to get money to invest into free education? Then he said, so how do you want the children to be?
The two ministers were speaking in an interview with ZANIS on the sidelines of the summit, which has since come to a close. Kalan Mchima, reporting for ZANIS in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
On that note, we end ZANIS News, but before we go, let's take a look at the stories that made headline. Hakainde Entrepreneurship Mentorship Initiative Cooperative launched in Kabwe. Muchinga PS calls for roll-out of small town water supply and sanitation projects to other provinces. Plus, Caritas Chipata unveils first ever grain storage technology. On that note, indeed, we end ZANIS News, and on behalf of the entire ZANIS production team, I'm Alice Banda saying goodbye and God bless you.